A prequel to one of the worst films in recent memories, worst horror films of all time. This is my review of Ouija, Origin of Evil. Now, to be honest with you, when I first heard that this film was going to be made, of course, Jason Blum, Michael Bay. But when I heard that the director of this film was Mike Flanagan, I couldn't help but be very extremely curious about this movie. Trailers were dropping, and I have to say, I actually had some real bona fide excitement for this film. Now, as I said before, this is a prequel to that film that I don't even remember much about it. I can't remember anything. I know that there's an actress in it that has gone on to be in better films, but I don't really remember that film at all. And I didn't know really how these two films were going to be tied together. I didn't remember if they learned anything about this prequel. So going into this prequel, I really hadn't... Well, thanks to the teaser trailers, I had a clear idea of what this movie was going to be about. But I didn't know much about this film other than the fact that the gimmick of the Ouija board was going to be a part of it. Because I forgot the original movie. I don't remember. There was somebody else that was in the film as well that's tied to the... Anyways, so this movie takes place in 1960s, late 60s, I think. In Los Angeles, we get to know a mother and her two daughters. Father is dead. They live in this house. They they like to swindle people. You know, they're fortune tellers or psychics or something, and they just swindle people. But they decide, because Ouija is got to be used in this somehow, that's hence the name, they have to now use it, and something terrible happens to the children that brings on this massive, scary, hopefully outrageous, exciting time. But I did have the hope, because Mike Flanagan, who I think is one of the best horror directors working today, I honestly had some hope that this would be a good movie. If you have not seen Oculus and Hush, they're on Netflix. If you have a Netflix account, they're on Netflix right now, and I think they're some of the best horror films made recently, and I think Mike Flanagan is one of the best horror directors working today. So I can't help but be really excited. Okay. How did I feel about the film? All right. It wasn't as amazing as I hoped it would have been. Now, if you base it or compare it to the original film, it's a masterpiece, of course. It's far superior than that forgettable film. There's a lot to remember about this movie. I think the kids are really good. They're played by Lulu Wilson and Annalise Basso. And Annalise Basso, I believe, worked with Mike Flanagan in Oculus. And then you got the mother, who's played by Elizabeth Rezer, whatever her name is. She's from Twilight, and I know that she's been in some other films that I've seen. She's a good actress, and I think she was good in the film. Henry Thomas, of course, Elliot himself from E.T., great to see him in a movie. I'm just happy to see him in this film, and I thought he was good in the movie. The big great performance about this film, of course, is Lulu Wilson, because a lot of the stuff happens to her, and I love when children, especially in film, are in danger, or, you know, they're infused with a demon of some kind or whatever, and so I liked all of that. I think this movie has great pacing for the most part, as we get to know these characters, get to know the situation, and there's some really great creepy scenes. Some were scary, some were not, but they were still creepy. There were some effective jump scares from time to time. Luckily, the movie does not rely on jump scares, because I think Mike Flanagan is smarter than that, you know, he has to put them in there. You know, they have to be a part of it. It's a horror film. You know, even the greatest horror movies have jump scares from time to time. If they scare you still to this day, they're still considered the great horror films. I just expected more, especially from Mike Flanagan as a filmmaker. I just expected more, and it didn't really live up to those expectations. And just because he's really impressed me in the past. And there's still a film, I think, yet to be released called Before I Wake, I think, And it hasn't gotten released because of studio issues and stuff like that. I really hope I get a chance to see that movie because I've been excited to see that for a while. And I'll watch anything Mike Flanagan makes because, again, I think he's one of the best. He is a great horror filmmaker, and he has proved it time and time again. This one is just not one of his best films, of course. It's a good, decent movie with some interesting ideas. I feel that about 70% of this movie is really good, but the final act falls on its face and didn't really grab my attention. I just felt like it was just the same old horror ending that we've gotten. And then if you wait until after the credits, you even get more. So what are they going to do? Make another one? Or is it just going to... Is that end credit thing just tie in with the original film that nobody really remembers anyways? But of course, it's, Blumhouse Studios, and they'll make stuff really cheap. And sometimes look really good, but they just continually make these movies, and some are successful and some are not. I hope this one is semi-successful because I like Mike Flanagan. I want him to work again. I think he's a really great director, and he shines a lot in this movie. And there's some things in here that I really appreciated in the film. I'm just going to point out cigarette burns. I really appreciate the cigarette burns in this movie. Even those little touches in this movie help me to at least like this film and give it a slight recommendation. I would honestly tell you it's worth a matinee. That's about it. And for that, I'm going to give Ouija Origin of Evil, I will give it 3 stars out of 4.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. And also, please check out these amazing movie websites. And if you enjoyed this review, please click here to subscribe to my channel, and also please check out all my recent reviews right here on YouTube. Have a great day, live film, find peace, happiness, and harmony in anything and everything you do, and I'll talk to you at my next movie review.